I'm in studio here, and I still have with me Don Armitage, and we've also have Karen Cook, who joined us. She's on the committee for the History Research Group, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, first, welcome, Karen.
Oh, hello.
Good to have you here in our studio in Claris. Now, Don, I think maybe you got to first tell us a little bit about how tell us about the history of the History Research Group.
The history of the Island History Research Group mainly started off from my visiting Coromandel Town History Research Group. I first entered a competition for a short story that they held, exactly like we're holding, and I happened to come second, and then they gave me a phone call and indicated that I might have won a prize, so persuaded me to turn up, and so I turned up, and so I won second prize. And I observed their whole process and met all their committee members, etc., and I thought, what a good idea for the barrier. And so I got their copy of their constitution and just changed the title to Great Barrier Island History Research Group. So it was a free ride setting it all up. And on May the 31st, 2010, we incorporated it, and by November, we got the website set up, the oral history recorder bought, and we put out a couple of books associated with the Great Barrier Island History Research Group. And so that was three fundamental things that we got going with the group. And then we got this short story competition going here. And that was in November 2010, and it ran for 6 months until the end of April 2011. That was when the cut-off date was for the short stories to be in, and we got that 105 or 6 short stories, in which 100 of which were compiled into the short story book. So it's been it's all been going like a clockwork, really. I'm very glad the way it's gone, and we've all done it off our own bat. We haven't had to borrow any money or whatever, and because this is the first True Tales book, we intend to do more every 2 or 3 years. So the cost of printing, a few of us have put in the printing cost money and expect to get it back by the time of the launch or shortly after, and the rest of the sales will help fund the history group and really give us a good foundation to work from.
Okay. Now, Don, you've been the coordinator of the History Research Group until the meeting on Wednesday. I believe you had an AGM there, and so we're going to be the History Research Group continues on here onwards. Karen, do you want to tell us a little bit more how the group is organised and what you'll be doing now that the book's taken done with, and you must have other things that you've got on your priority list to get started.
At the meeting, we nominated members who will form the committee, and so that will happen next week, hopefully, early next week, once we get in contact with everyone. And so we select our office holders, and then any extra projects apart from the launch is going to be our focus until then. And so we have oral histories to record, and we want to get on with that and just help people gain the knowledge of how to use the recorder and feel comfortable about interviews and get some of those under our belt. Then there's, after the launch, we're also looking forward to the next book in 2 to 3 years.
Okay, that's good. And it sounds like you're going to keep yourself busy, and I'm sure with, knowing already who's involved and what you've been doing, that there'll be all sorts of little projects that will pop up and things to do. You were saying before that you're looking forward to new members to come and join the committee and the group and come up with research projects of their own. I think, and we've also been setting up the website that
yes.
that Don started. That he talked about before, History Research Group, Great Barrel Island History.org. Yeah, and there's already a lot of material on there that I saw, including reference to the book. So I see that the history group is a very active group. I'm saying this here as a bystander. I've been quite impressed how you got things going and the sort of energy that's coming up with that.
Yes, and there's certainly in the last week or so when we've been going out selling books, there's a lot of goodwill in the community about the whole project. It's quite, it's making me enthusiastic more and more. Yeah.
So Don, you spent a bit of time in, or you have visited Coromandel and the History Research Group there. In terms of the things that they're involved in, you took inspiration already for the formation of the group. What other ideas are taking place there that you think can be an inspiration for our group here on the island?
Well, the main thing that hits me between the eyes is Coromandel Town History Research Group are associated with Thames, and they call it the Treasury, but it's a repository for all sorts of historical information, etc. And I believe they keep records of oral histories and all sorts of things like that. But they also are associated with an FM radio station down there, and they've been associated with providing about 2-minute broadcasts on historical matters that go off a broadcast every morning. And I don't know how many they've got in their portfolio of recordings and how often they're repeated, but that's one good idea. And being 2 minutes long, it's not many words to write out and have a good reader read them. And it's an informative, creative, and targeted to the local community by their own radio station. It seems a dead cert to get going here at some point.
Well, it sounds pretty inevitable then. Okay, I look forward to that. Yep. Now, just before I switch to the next music track here, maybe Karen, can you tell us a little bit how, if anybody's interested to get involved, who's got an idea or just wants to find out more, how can they contact the History Research Group here?
Okay, my phone number is 377 if you want any information, but you can go onto our website at Great Barrier Island History.org and just Google it, get in there, and you'll find plenty of information there you can go forward with. We also, our treasurer is Linda Oxborough, and I'm not sure of her phone number right now. Is it 895? 895. She also has information for you and can take orders for books, as can I.
And you've got an email address as well.
And my email address.
Which is info@greatbarrelislandhistory.org. That's great. Okay, that's good. Look, I'm going to switch to some music here, and then we're going to talk. I want to talk just a little more moment longer here about history research, the history of history research here on the island. But thank you. I've got Don Armitage and Karen Cook here with me in the studio. We've talked about the history research group on Great Bear Island.